Well, No More Deaths is a grassroots coalition of churches and non-church organizations that frankly just eventually got fed up with the number of people dying in the desert here in Arizona. We have a policy of border enforcement that has been systematically imposed on the border over the last 15 years to a dismayingly great acclaim by many people across the country who don't understand the border or how the border works. And that the functional result of that policy is that migrants who are desperate for a job and trying to figure out how to support their families are pushed out into the deserts, the lowland deserts of southeastern Arizona and southwestern Arizona in particular. And as that's taken place, we've seen now thousands of people lose their lives due to exposure in the deserts. So churches got together and we said, what does it mean to be a community of followers of Jesus, given this reality? One, we know that these people are coming here because of economic policies that are in fact impoverishing their nations and benefiting ours to a great degree. So what's our responsibility to try and shift that dynamic further south? Two, as people of faith, what responsibility do we have to lift up the questions and be the moral conscience of a country that appears to have abandoned its conscience on this set of questions? And three, in a rush toward security in a post-9/11 world, what does it mean for us to lift up fundamental principles of security that are biblical, which is to say that you don't attack your enemies, you reach out to your enemies. Genuine security comes in right relationship with one another. So when we looked at those sets of questions in broad terms, we said, well, we could complain about this policy and try and impact it by lobbying in Washington, and there's been some of that that's been done. We could go, hold a demonstration in front of the federal building, and some of that's been done. But the real power of the Christian fellowship is to simply go and act like we're followers of Jesus in the desert. So we started out by finding out where people were dying, and wherever we had a cluster of death, we would go and put a water station out in the desert and just try and put water where people would need it. That got established, and our right to do so was kind of approved eventually. We were told initially by the Border Patrol this was illegal, that we were enticing people to cross the border without documents, to which my response, echoing a colleague of mine in Tucson, was, I have yet to meet anybody who will walk 80 miles through 110-degree heat for a warm glass of water. This isn't about enticing anybody, it's about caring for people where they are. And then once that right was established firmly and it was clear that we had the right to be in the desert, we began doing search and rescue patrols with medical professionals. And then we extended that even further now 3 full summers ago when we began putting full-time camps in the desert. We called them Arks of the Covenant. The idea was if migrants can't get to church, church has to go to where they are. We have thousands of people a week. We're talking as many as, on some weeks, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people a week who are picked up by the Border Patrol, processed, and dumped back at all hours of the day and night at the port of entry with no resources, no money, no support system, no nothing. So we have volunteers from both sides of the border who staff a hospitality center in Nogales and just welcome folks as they get off the bus and try and provide basic medical care, food and water as they figure out what to do next.